Right now, literally as we speak, on the floor of a BMW factory down in South Carolina, a robot is doing the job of a human worker. And I'm not talking about some robotic arm bolted to the floor or a conveyor belt. It's a humanoid robot. 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 hands, just walking between stations, picking up sheet metal components, sorting parts, and transporting materials, autonomously, with no human guiding it at all.
The company behind this? Figure AI. They are valued at a staggering $39 billion. And get this, they have never even released a product for sale yet. They are just getting started. Meanwhile, over in China, at the Spring Festival Gala, which is the most watched live broadcast on Earth seen by over 1 billion people, humanoid robots danced on stage in this choreographed performance that just went massively viral globally. According to retailers, interest in humanoid robots immediately hit an all-time high.
Then you have Elon Musk. He recently posted a video of Tesla's Optimus robots walking right through Tesla's own factory, picking up parts with their hands and placing them perfectly. He wrote, "By the end of 2026, Optimus will be available for purchase, the $20,000 humanoid robot for your home." To put that into perspective, Bank of America published a research note projecting that by 2060, there will be 3 billion humanoid robots on Earth. 3 billion. That is literally more than 1 robot for every working-age human alive today. The robot revolution is not coming, it has already started. This is the explainer. Here's the full picture. What is actually shipping today, which companies are leading, what it is going to cost, and what it really means for jobs, for homes, and for everything else.
Section 1. The AI Unlock. What changed everything?
You know, humanoid robots have been a promise for decades. We all remember Honda's Asimo walking upstairs and waving at press conferences, right? Or Boston Dynamics with those viral videos of Atlas doing backflips that racked up hundreds of millions of views. But for years, none of it actually translated into products. The robots were just too expensive, way too slow, fragile, and honestly too limited to do anything genuinely useful outside a highly controlled lab environment. But then something shifted. What changed everything wasn't the hardware, it was the AI. Think about the massive large language model revolution that gave us ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. That same fundamental breakthrough in teaching machines to understand context and instructions, it turned out to be exactly what robots needed to actually become useful. For the very first time, you could tell a robot, hey, sort these parts by size, and it would actually figure out how to do it, rather than requiring every single movement to be explicitly programmed. The technical term for this is embodied AI. It's intelligence that can act in the physical world, not just generate text on a screen. And once that AI got good enough, every single piece of the hardware equation, from the motors to the batteries, the sensors, the hands, it all just started falling into place simultaneously. By 2023, every major tech company was either funding or building a humanoid robot program. We're talking Google, Microsoft, Amazon, OpenAI, and Tesla all making major commitments. Total identified investment in humanoid robotics has now crossed $6 billion, making it one of the most capital-intensive emerging tech categories in history. The race is very real, guys, and it's accelerating way faster than anyone expected. Section 2. Who is shipping today? Real-world robots.
Okay, let's be super specific about what actually exists right now. Not what's been promised, not the shiny demos, what is genuinely working in the real world today. First up, Figure AI. They are the commercial leader right now. Their robot, the Figure 02, is currently operating in BMW's Spartanburg manufacturing facility down in South Carolina. It's already handled over 90,000 parts, supported 30,000 vehicles, and logged over 1,250 hours of real production tasks, inserting sheet metal, sorting parts, moving materials between stations. So Figure is absolutely the most commercially advanced humanoid as we head into 2026. They might not be the most famous, but they are the furthest across that line from a cool demo to an actual product in a paying customer's factory. They're targeting 1,000 units in 2026, scaling up to 10,000 in 2027. Plus, their Figure 03, which is aimed at home use, is expected to ship in late 2026. That would make it one of the first humanoid robots ever marketed for residential deployment. Figure AI's valuation hit $39 billion in September 2025. They've got partnerships with OpenAI for the brains and BMW as their primary enterprise customer. Next, we have Boston Dynamics Atlas. Honestly, this is the most capable robot alive. If you've seen a humanoid robot doing parkour or backflips on YouTube, that was Atlas. They've been dropping viral videos since 2016, but for almost a decade, you couldn't actually buy one. Well, that changed at CES 2026. Boston Dynamics announced that commercial production of the final electric Atlas is officially underway. They're planning tens of thousands of units for Hyundai Motor Group manufacturing facilities. Hyundai is actually their majority shareholder, and this deployment at Hyundai's Robot Meta plant in Georgia is going to be the largest single humanoid robot deployment in history. Now, Atlas isn't available for general purchase. If it were, it'd probably set you back around $140,000 to $150,000 per unit. But its physical capabilities, its dynamic balance, terrain adaptability, manipulation precision are completely unmatched right now. Finally, there's Tesla Optimus, which is easily the most ambitious bet in the space. Remember when Elon Musk first announced the Tesla bot at AI Day 2021? The audience literally laughed. But nobody laughed again when the prototype actually walked onto the stage in 2022. Optimus Gen 3 is currently in its final development stages, and they're targeting low-volume production at Tesla's Fremont factory in summer 2026. Musk's strategy here is full vertical integration. He's using Tesla's existing AI infrastructure from the full self-driving program, their battery tech, and their massive automotive-scale manufacturing to try and drive the unit cost below $30,000 for early buyers, and eventually, they want to get it below $20,000 at scale. Musk claims that 80% of Tesla's long-term value will eventually come from Optimus. Whether that's true or just a classic Musk overstatement, their commitment of capital is absolutely undeniable. Tesla is pouring an estimated $1 to $2 billion annually into the Optimus program.
But wait, then there's Unitree. They are the massive price disruptor coming out of China. While everyone is busy watching Tesla and Figure, Unitree has been quietly shipping real robots in real volume. They delivered over 5,500 humanoid units in 2025 and are aiming for 10,000 to 20,000 in 2026. And here's the kicker. The Unitree G1 starts at just $16,000. That's a fraction of what any Western competitor is charging. Sure, it might not be as dexterous as Figure 02 or as dynamic as Atlas, but for basic logistics, carrying boxes, simple assembly, moving materials around, it offers economics that absolutely no Western robot can currently match. Unitree is exactly why the price war in humanoid robots has already kicked off. And believe me, this price war is going to be the story that defines this entire decade.
Section 3. The China Factor. Competing to win.
So, there's a huge dimension to this humanoid robot story that's getting almost zero coverage in Western media. China is not just watching this race from the sidelines, they are actively competing to win it. Remember that 2026 Spring Festival Gala we mentioned earlier? The one watched by over 1 billion people? Having humanoid robots perform a choreographed dance on that stage wasn't just a fun demonstration, it was a statement. Chinese companies like Unitree, Axobot, and Leju Huavo showcased their robots at Asia World MX 2026 in Seoul, and they put a massive emphasis on commercial deployments and physical AI. The Chinese government has essentially designated humanoid robotics as a national strategic priority. Subsidies, state investment, preferential procurement policies, they're all aligned right behind their domestic robotics industry. Even Honor, the smartphone company that split from Huawei, unveiled its first humanoid obot at MWC 2026 in Barcelona. It was up there dancing, moonwalking, doing backflips in front of a live audience. They're targeting shopping assistants, workplace inspections, and even companionship roles. So what we're seeing is the exact same pattern that played out in electric vehicles, in solar panels, and in semiconductors. Chinese industrial policy, combined with domestic scale, plus aggressively low pricing. That playbook is now happening in humanoid robots. Unitree's $16,000 G1 is definitely not an accident. It's the opening move at a massive price war, designed to capture the volume market before Western companies can even get there. Right now, Western companies absolutely hold the AI advantage, but the manufacturing cost advantage, that belongs entirely to China. How this tension resolves is ultimately going to determine exactly which robots end up in the world's factories and our homes.
Section 4. Capabilities and limitations. Fact versus fiction.
Now, let's be totally honest about where this technology actually stands today, because the gap between a viral YouTube demo and a real-world product is pretty significant. Here is what robots can do reliably today. Repetitive manipulation tasks in highly controlled environments. Picking up objects of a known shape from a known location. Moving items between fixed points. Doing predefined assembly steps on a production line. Basically, tasks that are well-defined, highly repetitive, and physically demanding. But here's what they cannot do reliably today. Anything that requires improvisation. Put them in open-ended environments where objects aren't exactly where they expect them to be, or give them tasks that require understanding context and reacting to surprises, and they really struggle. Fine manipulation is also tough. Things requiring human-level dexterity like folding your laundry or making a bed, those remain genuinely incredibly hard problems to solve.
Think about it like this. Figure 02 works beautifully in the BMW factory because that factory is a perfectly controlled environment. Every part is exactly where it should be, every single task is predefined. The robot absolutely excels there. But put that exact same robot in your kitchen with dishes scattered all over the place and ask it to wash up, it's going to struggle significantly. And look, that's not a criticism. That's just the honest state of the technology right now. The robots working today are exceptional at specific, highly structured tasks in industrial settings. The dream of a general-purpose home robot that can do absolutely anything you ask is still a few years away. We're probably looking at 2027 to 2028 for the first real deployments at any meaningful scale. Products like the Unitree G1, the Figure 03 targeting homes, or the Tesla Optimus for personal use, these are the absolute leading edge of that transition. So the most honest advice for investors and consumers right now is this: industrial deployment is very real and it is happening right now. Home deployment is also real, but it's still very early days.
Section 5. The impact on jobs. Are jobs safe?
All right, this is the question everyone is actually asking. Are robots going to take my job? Well, the straightforward answer is yes, for some jobs. But not for a while, and honestly, not in the way most people picture it. The jobs most immediately at risk are basically the physical equivalents of what AI has been doing to white-collar work. We're talking warehouse picking and packing, factory line assembly, basic logistics and material handling, and dangerous industrial tasks. Things like working with hazardous chemicals, extreme heavy lifting, or working in extreme temperatures. These are the very first categories where humanoid robots are becoming economically competitive with human labor.
And the timeline here is super important to understand. Look, at $150,000 per unit, a robot simply cannot replace a human worker who earns $30,000 a year. The math just does not work out. But at $20,000 per unit, a machine that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, takes absolutely no breaks, needs no sick days, and requires zero benefits, the economics completely flip. Tesla's stated target of getting below $20,000 per unit at scale is the magic number that changes absolutely everything. It's the exact price point where humanoid robots become definitively cheaper than human labor for a wide range of physical tasks. Now, hitting that price at volume is probably still 3 to 5 years away, but the trajectory is incredibly clear, and all these companies are building straight toward that massive inflection point.
Now, on the flip side, what jobs are safe for the foreseeable future? Basically, anything requiring emotional intelligence, complex improvisation in unstructured environments, or genuine human relationships. Nursing, teaching, plumbing, electrical work, management, therapy, creative work. Honestly, the physical trades that require a highly skilled human to navigate a completely unfamiliar, messy environment, they are way safer from robotics than most office jobs currently are from AI. So for a lot of us, there's absolutely no need to panic just yet.
Section 6. The next 12 months. Key milestones to watch.
So here are the specific milestones you need to watch. These will tell you whether the robot revolution is actually accelerating or if it's stalling out. First, watch for summer 2026. That's when Tesla Optimus Gen 3 production is slated to start at Fremont. If this actually happens on schedule, it'll be the very first humanoid robot manufactured at true automotive scale. Keep an eye on the number of units they produce and whether they keep them inside Tesla or start selling them to external buyers. Next, late 2026. Look out for the Figure 03 home pilot announcements. If Figure actually ships consumer units for residential use, that officially marks the massive transition from industrial tool to consumer product. It's the moment this whole category becomes deeply personal. Throughout 2026, you also want to keep a close eye on Unitree's shipment numbers. If Unitree manages to ship 10,000 to 20,000 units like they're targeting, it completely validates the Chinese cost model and is going to put enormous pricing pressure on every single Western competitor. And finally, watch that Boston Dynamics Atlas deployment at Hyundai's Georgia facility. Like we said, it's the largest single humanoid deployment in history. If that runs smoothly at scale, it instantly becomes the gold standard reference case that every other manufacturer is going to point to.
But the absolute biggest thing to look out for is the price crossover. Watch for any company announcing a humanoid robot for external sale that comes in under $20,000. When that announcement happens, I guarantee you it will be the biggest news in technology that entire year, completely regardless of whatever else is going on.
Here is one final thing to think about before the next cool robot video goes viral on your feed. The last time a piece of technology advanced this incredibly fast, going from a rough prototype to 3 billion units in the world, the timeline was roughly 15 years. And that technology? It was the smartphone.
The humanoid robot is quite literally the smartphone of physical labor. And if Bank of America's 3 billion unit forecast is even directionally correct, heck, even if it's just 1 billion or 500 million by 2050, the implications for every single economy on Earth are larger than anything that has happened since the Industrial Revolution. You absolutely do not have to be afraid of that, but you do have to understand it.
I'm your host. This is The Explainer, the most important tools shaping the world, in plain English, every week. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Which company do you think wins the robot race? Tesla, Figure, Boston Dynamics, or a Chinese company nobody is watching yet? See you in the next one.